I'm using my joystick to keep myself right on this cross here, because this cross's meaning has changed. Okay, C-val is basically minimal now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn towards the ISS, that is DISS, and I'm going to boost towards it. Now remember, be careful about this. You don't want to hit the ISS because, you know, they're not going to like that too much. So I'm going to boost a decent bit. And that's going to take me closer to ISS. Turn off my boost, wait for myself to drift closer. Now, I don't know if you can see this on YouTube, but I can actually see a little bit of the ISS now. Now, C-val is dropping rather rapidly. So, now that it's 0, I'm going to stop going. I'm going to turn towards the negative of my, there we go, negative V ISS. I'm actually going to tidy this up a little faster than I did last time using the retros. Kill rotation, get right on that circle, or as close to it as I can get, and use my engines. Alright, C-val is now basically 0. So again, point towards distance to ISS, and you don't really have to do this in the same steps that I do. Just take your time. Just don't let yourself lose track of the ISS. I'm going to put my radio stack in my other multifunction display. That way I can see. Alright, so I have signal to the dock 1, but it's pretty crappy. So I need to get closer. Again, we're going to coast. This should be getting pretty big for you guys. You guys should start being able to see the ISS at this point. C-val is, again, negative. I'm going to pass by the ISS as I go to negative velocity again. There you go. There's the ISS. I don't know if you can see it, but it is in the middle of that box there. And there's my dot again, except I have way overshot it. Let's fix that. There we go. An important thing to keep in mind is your level of fuel. I consider it part of realism to refuel while you're at ISS, but don't run out of fuel before you get to ISS, so do worry about perfection. Just don't tear your hair out over it. It's not worth tearing your hair out over, unless you screwed it up. Anyway, so I'm going to get closer to ISS now. I have 1 bar of signal, so that's good. We're going to burn towards ISS again. Now watch as it approaches. we are now flying very far away from the International Space Station. So we're going to start boosting towards it again. I'm getting a little quick, so I'm going to kill rotation. Come on. I'm going to turn back towards. I should have seen that coming a little closer. So I'm going to begin to negate that. Okay, keep it at 33, which is a little more reasonable. And we're not going to warp up to 100 this time. Okay, there's ISS, and right about now we're going to negate that. Retro's full. Alright, bump my engines to 0. And would you look at that, there is our International Space Station. Now here's the cool thing. Watch this. You know how I hit HUD on here to bring this up? I'm going to hit nav, which is going to bring me to nav 2, which is that transponder. Now I'm going to hit HUD on that. Watch, that's going to do something very cool. That's going to illustrate my approach path. Boom. This I'll explain in a bit. Right now, we need to get on that approach path. Sorry, I started violently coughing there. I lost track of what I was doing. Okay, CVAL is negative, so I don't really have to worry about this a whole lot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn towards the ISS. I'm going to start explaining what you see in this approach/dock window, or rather multifunction display. Our docking port is right there, this little thing right here. When I turn myself close enough to that, do you see this big red X that showed up? That tells me whether I'm angled right for docking. So I'm going to pull up, even if it means pointing away from the International Space Station, until that red X turns white. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to linear translation. Once I get my angle right this way, which is signified by this red triangle down here. I'm going to set my RCS mode to linear. Number 3 is going to push me to the right, so that's going to start decreasing the fact that I'm drifting off to the right here. What I want is, I want for this, both this X and this plus to both be on top of the center here. So I'm going to push to the right, and I'm going to use 6 to push forward. This is all in your orbiter manual, specifically page 34. That's your linear translation mode. So I'm going to press forward so I'm actually approaching the International Space Station. I'm going to fix my angle a little bit, so I'm going to set back to rotational. Kill rotation. I know what you're thinking. Oh wow, this suddenly looked a lot different from the last few moments of the YouTube video. Sorry about that. What happened was I completed the tutorial. I went to go take a look at what was going on, and surprise, surprise, hold on, let me sneeze a little bit, or not. On the last section of my video, Fraps ran out of disk space. So I'm picking up after the last point that it actually managed to save. So, I put myself at about the same distance away, plus or minus about 40 meters. I'm going to start approaching again. So I'm going to hit 6 to go forward. I'm going to go down a little bit and to the left, because you notice the yellow plus is almost perfectly to my left. And I'm going to go down using 8. I'm sorry if you guys are seeing the flickering that's going on. I'm going to approach a little faster. Now up and to the right. Go down a little bit. And there we go. We're approaching at a nice clip, actually well within my allowed bounds at this distance. Now at this distance we can start taking a look like this, and you'll see, wow, I am decently on the right track here. My front docking port here is decently close, or rather almost dead on, to their docking port, which is good. Now note I said almost dead on. Need to go down a little bit and to the left. There we go. Now you're starting to see the docking port approach. There we go. I need to go down a little bit. Go up a little bit. Or rather, down. Sorry, I goofed. I make mistakes too. I trusted Fraps. So I'm gonna slow down, because I'm getting a little fiercely close to that. I'm also a little far off, so I don't want to hit it at this point.